was there a moment in the year that was especially quite tough for you to make that adjustment once COVID hit?
Um, Not particularly. I would say it was at the beginning. It was a bit slow, a bit boring. I would say, but then you find a rhythm. And then for me, actually, a moment that was really difficult was like obviously the bombing in Lebanon that happened, the explosion, because then like it was on top of everything. There was COVID, and then that happened, and it's your home, and it's damaged, and the worry and everything kind of resurfaced. But so that was probably the toughest time for me. Apart from that, I feel like I just took it by day and adjusted, I guess.
Yeah, I was a bit the same too. I feel like it was definitely a real adjustment. But
Yeah,
ever since that first lockdown did happen, was there, what would you say would be the biggest adjustment you had to go through
I would say
yourself?
definitely I love people. I love hanging out with people, seeing people. So usually my schedule is quite packed, going out, socializing. So I would say that's the biggest adjustment for me. Meeting with friends over Zoom and having a drink over Zoom was just not the same. The connection was never great. Something would happen. So yeah, I would say definitely not seeing people. That comfort that you get when you have like chats face to face, or even a hug here and there. So that being taken away was the hardest, I would say, or the thing that I found the hardest to adjust to.
And at what point did the Zoom during sessions become um, a bit mundane?
Yeah. I would say probably when the lockdown started easing a bit, and there was like you could go out again. It was summertime, go to the park, have picnics. It was more priority to be outside than indoors, over a Zoom drink, basically. And then like I kind of miss actually giving someone a call instead of having to do the Zoom drinks. It was more kind of forced. So I just think sometimes it was nice to go for a walk and call someone. It was nicer.
That's nice to hear. And
Yeah.
was there someone throughout the year, either a colleague or someone close to you, that you really leaned on for the extra bit of support this year?
Yeah, well, I'm super, super lucky. I have my boyfriend, but then I have like family and like friends in general, the team, so many people on the team, my team, and like Anna, Neha, like so many different people were amazing. Trainers, I'm very lucky to work in the training team, so I have mentors. So there's Emma Ewing, Steve Dunn, Lizzie Patterson, Jane Fordham, amazing people. Even our members, Richard Fogg, Maya, all great mentors for me. Lots of different people there, different points of views, different angles. I love it. So I'm very lucky to be surrounded by very great people, really. So yeah,
Yeah,
that
and
helped
was
a lot.
there? Yeah, absolutely. And was there any specific conversations that really helped you?
It's hard to say, really. There was times where I was like just worried about things. I overthink a lot. It'll be a small situation where I'll really like be very anxious about it. So can't really give the situation in particular, but sometimes just talking to people, they give you like very practical advice that I can take on, and help me with my anxiety and help me not overthink and not worry too much. And I think that that really, really helps me. So in general, I wouldn't say there was one thing in particular. I would just say it's me in general who worry too much. I worry too much, for example, like, are we doing good? Are we doing great enough in the training team? Are we like making enough money to get through? And I put too much pressure on myself in general, in my friendships, in my life. So just having people to say, just relax, don't worry, everything's fine, was very helpful.
It's definitely those little conversations that really help. I've been the same. I've been extremely lucky to have my wife,
Yeah,
and because our families are not even in this country, it's made us feel even more quite isolated. So just those little
yeah,
conversations with people, even if it's just for 2 minutes, a minute, they do make a big
exactly.
difference. That's for sure.
Definitely, especially yeah, it makes you feel more normal, right? So you just
Yeah.
like have a chat and like get it out, and then you're like, okay. And I guess when you're talking, also you manage to solve things in your head, don't you? Like just because I don't know, like if you keep it all inside, then you can't really like process
Oh
things.
yeah.
So yeah, very important to have those chats, definitely, because that was taken away from us. Obviously, because on a face-to-face basis, day to day, you just automatically will have a chat with someone. So when that's taken away, it's so important to just keep going, basically.
And for you personally, Was there anything that you sort of learned about yourself, or that quite surprised you?
I think I was surprised by the fact that I managed not to panic too much without seeing people. I think people were quite worried for me because I'm such a sociable person and I'm always out. They were like, "Are you okay?" And yeah, so it was, yeah. So in that sense, I think I managed that. I was obviously, I always knew that I had amazing people in my life. I think I'm now feel it even more. I know it even more, which is great. And yeah, just trying to work on myself and like worrying less, and in a way not caring less, but being less, putting less energy into some situations.
And is that what you're taking forward with yourself into next year?
Yes, absolutely. I think it's good. It's giving me time to kind of take a step back. And when you're in a situation face to face, it's very hard to detach yourself from it. I've had time to detach myself from certain situations and feel more kind of like, I can do this step by step, not be anxious, not worry. So yeah, 100%. I think, I hope I will anyway.
Yeah. And if you were to sum up this entire year, how would you do that?
I would say that it was quite an interesting, different year. um, Definitely not what was expected. It's really hard to sum up because it's a bit of a blur, but it happens. But also, like, in a way, you know, it was an eye-opener in many different ways. And I am also quite grateful because I'm in a good situation. So I appreciate what I have. The people that I have in my life, you know, my team, and I feel very lucky to have that. So yeah, it wasn't the easiest year. It wasn't a normal year, but there's still things to be grateful for.